We're moving on to say farewell to a coaching legend. All right, farewell to Lisa Bluder. Lisa Bluder has announced that she is retiring from Iowa women's basketball. This is a huge loss for Iowa women's basketball. Now, guys, this is something that caught me by surprise. It really did. I was not expecting this at all. I really wasn't. And to see this come through, I was like, whoa, that's crazy. I really didn't expect this, and I think there's a lot of people who didn't expect this either. I did get an email from Iowa women's basketball. It's because I went to a game in the past, and now they send me. I'm on their email list, and I get a lot of emails from Iowa women's basketball. And there is a letter that Coach Bluder actually wrote to Hawkeye Nation, and I want to read that because I thought it was a very special letter. Um, I, I thought it was a special letter, and after I read that, I just want to talk through Lisa Bluder's legacy at Iowa women's basketball. And I just want to talk about how like this really is a sea change. We're at a sea change for women's basketball. We're seeing coaches who have been in the game for a long time. We're seeing them leave. And that's a huge loss for the game of women's basketball. It's a huge loss for the programs that they coach at. And I just want to talk through it. All right. I want to talk through it with you all. Um, and guys, I also want to talk about the fact that a lot of people are talking about the Indiana Fever. We gonna get into it once we get through what Lisa Bluder had to say to Hawkeye Nation. I do want to get into specifically this rumor that she is going to the Indiana Fever. Guys, it's not happening. But we gonna talk about it though. Okay, we gonna really talk about this in detail because I think people just want something to say. People want something to say. People want something to talk about, and they want to pretend like they have the exclusive on stuff. And yeah, she's not going to Indiana. I'm just saying. But anyway, we gonna talk about it. Okay, we gonna talk about this. All right, let's look at this. All right, it is called. This is Lisa Bluder's letter to Hawkeye Nation. So we're gonna read through it, and we're gonna get into it. Okay. All right. So, it's a bad letter when you see it start off with, "It is with a range of emotions," but that is what she started off with. She says, "It is with a range of emotions that I share with you today that I have decided to step down from leading the Iowa women's basketball team after 24 memorable years." Again, huge shocker. She said, I informed President Wilson and Director of Athletics Beth Gotts of my decision, and I am grateful for their unwavering support and offered them my assistance in any manner in the future. She said, it's been the honor of my career to be a part of the Iowa Hawkeye family and to lead a women's basketball team filled with so many talented and remarkable young women who have gone on to do great things in their career and, more importantly, in their lives. Now, she just sort of continues on to talk about the players that she got to coach for and whatnot. So let's sort of continue on reading what Lisa Bluder has to say about the squad that she was able to coach. She says, there is no denying that this past season was incredible for so many reasons, and we could not have accomplished our achievements without all of you. After the season ended, I spent time with our student athletes and coaches, reviewing the season and preparing those moving on for what comes next. With that also came personal contemplation about what this journey has meant to me, how to best champion this program, and what the future looks like for my family and me. And after taking some time away with my husband, David, it has become clear to me that I am ready to step aside. So according to her, this was not something that she had planned on doing beforehand, but that is something that she is doing now. All right, let's sort of continue on reading this. She said, it is never ideal It is never an ideal time to retire. She said, I will miss, wait, and I am sure this fall I will miss the games, the practices, the road trips. Yeah, she just goes down the list about the stuff that she's going to miss with this squad. I mean, with this team and stuff that generally she's loved about being at Iowa that she's going to miss, which is which is understandable, right? You expect when a coach retires, they're going to miss some stuff that they used to experience as a coach, and they're like, oh man, this is very very different. She says she'll miss the road trips, the atmosphere, and the tremendous fans, and most importantly, the players. But my belief in the foundation of this program, knowing that success is now an unrelenting component of women's basketball at the University of Iowa, gives me comfort as I transition to become the program's biggest champion. She says, I want to thank each and every young woman who believed in our program and in our values for nearly a quarter of a century and who proudly wore the black and gold. I want to thank Presidents Coleman, Sorkin, Mason, it goes down the list. All the people she wants to thank. She wants to thank her assistant coaches, and she wants to thank the incredible fans for believing in what we are doing and how we are doing it, creating the best home court advantage in all of women's basketball. And she thanks her family. All right, and she says she ends it off saying, with love and gratitude, Lisa Bluder. All right, so that is the message that Lisa Bluder gave to Hawkeye Nation today. Now, this is something that really did bring a lot of people by surprise. I was surprised that she decided to step down. Now, guys, I will talk about Jan Jensen taking that head coaching role in a second, but Lisa Bluder has had a really, really long career at Iowa. She was a coach who coached at Iowa for 24 years, right? She's been a coach in general for longer than that. She's been a collegiate head coach for 40 years at University of Iowa for 20. You talk about what she's able to accomplish. Naismith Coach of the Year in 2019, 3-time Big Ten Coach of the Year. She was a 4-time Regional Coach of the Year. She won 884 games, which is the 10th most in NCAA women's basketball history. So, guys, I know that a lot of people, your opinions about Lisa Bluder is very specific to the last 3 or 4 years of women's basketball. But guys, Lisa Bluder has had a long and historic career in the game of women's basketball as a coach. She's, again, 10th all time in women's NCAA basketball history in wins. She is, someone who is steeped in Iowa women's basketball history. She became the head coach in 2000. She is the all-time winningest Big Ten coach in history with a record of 528 wins and 254 losses. I think she's had a special career. The last 2 seasons, of course, we all know Iowa went to the championship both seasons. And overall, in her tenure, they made 22 postseason appearances under Lisa Bluder, 18 in the NCAA, 4 in the WNIT. She led the Hawkeyes to 5 Big Ten tournament championships. She also got 2 Big Ten regular season championships as well. So she's had a great career with the University of Iowa, and we'll see what she does next. She never said exactly what she's going to do next, but she said it's time to move on. And to me, it makes sense. It makes sense. You have gone to a historic high, making it to 2 back-to-back championships. You've had a generational talented player. I think it's hard to imagine going from that huge high to going back to the reality of being back in the thick of it in terms of battling even for a place in the NCAA tournament. So to me, I am not surprised. Yes, I'm surprised, but at the same time, I get it because what else is there to do? Sure, yes, what else is there to do to win the championship? But you got as close as you could have these last 2 years, and you had heartbreak. And so to me, I get it. Like I feel like that's a lot. I feel like that's a whole lot, and I understand why she decided right now that she was going to call it quits. Now, guys, it's not like Iowa is without a coach. They do have associate head coach Jensen, who is stepping in to become the next head coach for Hawkeye basketball. And the thing is, this isn't like Coach Jensen is new. She has been with Lisa Bluder in this team for a long time. It's like over 20 years. She's been with Jan Jensen. Jan Jensen has been with Lisa Bluder. It's a very very long time, very 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 long time. And actually it's way longer than that. Actually, Jan has been with Lisa Bluder for more than 30 years. All the years at Iowa, and then before that at Drake. So this is a coach in Jan Jensen who is ready for this moment. She's ready for this moment as the new head coach for Iowa women's basketball. I think she's ready. We'll see what Jan Jensen's able to do. But continuing on with Lisa Bluder, this is something that shocked a lot of people. A lot of people were on social media shocked, like really really shocked about the fact that Lisa Bluder is done at Iowa. She's gone. This is the end of the road for her as a player. I mean, not for her as a player, for her as a coach. And good for her. I say absolutely good for her. I think we'll see. I think we'll see what Iowa has up their sleeves going forward. But this is a loss. Absolutely, it's a loss for Big Ten women's basketball. This is a loss for Iowa women's basketball for sure. And we'll see ultimately what comes about next for Lisa Bluder. Does she just enjoy the rest of her life in retirement? Maybe. Does she try to take her hand at coaching at another level? Maybe. But one thing's for sure, I really don't think that Lisa Bluder is going to Indiana. There's a lot of to be the head coach. I have seen on social media that people are saying that Lisa Bluder retired so she could go to Indiana, and Indiana can fire Coach Chrissy Sides, and Lisa Bluder will be the coach in Indiana. And I'm like, guys, I don't think that's how it works. I really don't think that that this is a scheme. Her retiring and whatnot. I don't think that's a scheme for her to go to Indiana. I really don't. I think she had her time coaching Caitlin Clark. I think they both enjoyed that time with her coaching Caitlin Clark, and I think it's time for them to move on. I don't think it's just because a coach had success, coaching a player does not mean they have to follow that player throughout the rest of their career. Like I think people want something to say and they just want to speculate and whatnot. Lisa Bluder's not going to Indiana. Like she's not. Like I don't understand why. Maybe for views and clicks and whatnot. you want to make a whole thing about her going to Indiana. It's not happening, guys. It's not happening. Michaela says y'all just be making up. Yeah, people be making stuff up. People be making stuff up because they want something to talk about. So yeah, she's not going to coach the Indiana Fever. Because guys, coaching, we talk about levels. We talk about levels in terms of college players going from college to the pros. There is a big difference from coaching in college to coaching in the pros. It's very different. Very, very different. In ways that the college coaches get leniency, pros don't. you're going to get fired. They give you a couple years, you're going to get fired if you don't win. The game is, the X's and O's of how you coach is very different. It is very different. The plays that are run are very different. And so I don't think it's one of those things where it's sort of like it's apples to apples. It's not, in terms of coaching in college to coaching in the pros. Similarly to coaching in, similar to playing in college and playing in the pros. Yes, can some people succeed? Absolutely, absolutely. But no, guys, Lisa Bluder is not going to Indiana. Yeah, yes, you never know, but I don't think there's any signs. I don't think there's any signs that's pointing to her going to the Indiana Fever. I don't think it's possible. David, I am not saying that. No, I rewind the tape. I am not saying that. I am saying that is what people are saying. I am saying that I have seen people on social media saying that Coach Bluder deciding to retire from Iowa is really just her making this decision to end up going to Indiana because Christy Sides is going to get fired or whatever, and she's going to swoop in and become that the new head coach for the Indiana Fever. That's not happening, guys. One, I don't believe Christy Sides is going to get fired. I don't. Now, I know there's a lot of people who there's a lot of people who talk a lot of stuff about Christy Sides. A lot of people don't like Christy Sides. I actually am neutral about Christy Sides. I am very, very, very neutral about her, because I think this year is going to tell us a lot about Christy Sides. She's a head coach that never really wanted to be a head coach. She was cool being an assistant coach, but she got a position as a head coach, and she's figuring it out. And I'm interested to see what she does. So I am neutral about her. I know a lot of people don't like her. I want to see how this year pans out for Indiana. I really do. I want to see how this pans out. So because the thing is, like, she hasn't had much time, right? She's still a pretty new head coach. Last year, Indiana was way better than they used to be. I think she needs to get this team to a playoff berth. I think that's what she needs to do. I think she needs to get them to a playoff berth. But yeah, that is again, the main news is that Lisa Bluder has decided to call it quits as the head coach for Iowa women's basketball. She has had a phenomenal career, and I am excited. I am excited about whatever she does afterwards. Like, she could just be the number one supporter for Iowa women's basketball, and that could be it. But I'm interested to see how Iowa does with head coach Jensen. A thing to note, guys, a thing that is very, very important to note is that, yes, the transfer portal has closed. However, when a head coach leaves a program, the team now has 30 days to enter the transfer portal if they want to. So Lucy Olson, yes, has transferred to Iowa, but she does have 30 days now that her head coach has left to enter the transfer portal. So if players are not stuck. I saw some people talking about how they thought that players were stuck. Players who decided to go to Iowa or stay at Iowa were stuck and they can't leave. They can. All right, there is a 30-day window that does start when a head coach leaves a program. All right. So if Lucy Olson does want to transfer, she can. Will she transfer? I don't think so, because Jan Jensen has been so integral to the squad for so many years. I don't think she leaves. I don't think anybody at Iowa leaves. I think everybody stays. But if they wanted to, they could. If they wanted to, they could, because there is a window that has opened up now that their head coach has left. I don't think they will leave, but they could if they wanted to. So I just wanted to clear that up, make sure you all understand that. But again, I don't see anybody leaving. I don't. Adrian, sorry about that, says, Caitlin Clark fans are calling for Christy to be fired, saying she's not coaching Caitlin right. Also saying they need to let some players go if they can't play how Caitlin Clark needs them to play. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that, Adrian. I think people didn't realize that, like, coaches are really coaching in the WNBA. And you cannot be the same exact player you were in college in the WNBA, or even from college to the NBA. Like, there's levels to it, right? Just because you did certain stuff in college does not mean that you should do the same thing as a pro. You learn and you grow. And so the idea that people are mad at Chrissy Sides for saying that, hey, you have to you have 0.5 seconds to make a decision on what you want to do when you get the ball. I don't see what the problem is. I really don't. I really don't see what the problem is about that. A lot of people are upset and they say, oh, she's trying to change Caitlin Clark. What do we not want Caitlin Clark to ever grow? You think she's absolutely perfect the way she is, and she never has to get better at anything in women's basketball? I think some people are really off at that. Some people are just very, very Caitlin Clark centric, and they think that she's absolutely perfect and she doesn't need to grow. Like, this is not me saying that Caitlin Clark isn't great. She is, but coaches help players get better. If players never needed coaches, then there would be no coaches. Chrissy Sides is going to challenge Caitlin Clark. She's gonna challenge her, and I think it's gonna be fun to watch. I think, and again, I'm not even sure. Again, I feel neutral on Chrissy Sides as a coach, because I think she's still a very, very new head coach, and I'm still interested to see how she sort of evolves as a coach. But like, I really don't think that that there's anything there. But Adrian, I have been seeing what you're seeing. I've seen a lot of people saying Chrissy Sides is evil, she's horrible, she doesn't know what she's doing, and blah blah blah, just because she is trying to give Caitlin Clark instruction. Like, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? So to me, I don't get it. I really don't. I really don't get it. But Adrian, I do thank you so much for the super chat. I do apologize for missing the super chat earlier. I do apologize for that.